Misinformation is an issue that plagues many forms of media today. With the rise of social media, it's become increasingly easy to consume large amounts of misinformation, which can have dire consequences on the way some people view the world. To explore this issue, I interviewed teens in Atlanta, as well as media literacy influencer and co-host of First Stop News, Kelsey Russell.
Just for you, are your friends like interested in misinformation as well and what's happening? What is that atmosphere like for you?
We send like trending topics back and forth. Well, I have two friends that love getting into debates about topics like this, but on a general note, I wouldn't say they're too into like understanding the deepness of what's going on. It's just more like surface level, which is fine. It's not everyone wants to like get into that. I do have two people I talk to that we really like tend to get into like the really deep details about why things are being brought to light, who's putting it out, just like people's perceptions of it.
A couple months ago, there was a Fiji water recall, and my lash technician was telling me that all these Fiji water bottles were being recalled and to stop drinking it. And it wasn't until I fully read the article that it was a very specific shipment of Fiji water bottles that had been affected, produced in a very specific place, and it was actually the plastic, not the water.
I used to watch these two YouTubers. Their names were Hero Hey and Rev Says Des. Basically, they would talk about things in the anime community. Since the anime community is infamous for having child predators, they would talk about topics such as whether or not it's okay to like a character as an adult that looks like a child. They would say that if you're going after people who like the fictional characters, it's wasting time and taking away resources from the actual kids who need help. I ended up believing that, and I was like, yeah, you should stop caring about that. You should instead focus on the real kids who need help. But then I was like, wait a minute, this is strange. After one of them was going out of their way to defend a relationship between a 14-year-old anime character and a character twice their age, and I was like, you know what, maybe these people are kind of weird.
We're consuming media differently, right? Like my lash tech is, she's 18 years old and she had seen the headline on TikTok. And while I might have come across the same video, I thought about the ways we would go about reading it were very different, right? Like she read the headline and communicated it to me as if it was facts all. And it changed the way that I really considered how people are consuming information. People are really just consuming headlines. They're not reading the entire thing. And people are writing headlines to essentially make people believe one blanket statement versus diving deeper into the facts. So it made me think about just how I'm 24, she's 18, but the way we consume information is still very different. To go back to your first question, everything that's going on with Diddy, I feel like I've heard misinformation or not even knowing if it's true. Seeing people on TikTok do deep dives. His ex girlfriend, Kim Porter, does she have a book? Is it her book? All of these things that are rumored that, I mean, the man is disgusting, but ultimately, are they true or not? So I think that that's a pop culture thing that is definitely impacting the way that I'm viewing information. I think the way people are even consuming information too.
Basically, like the just rapid fire nature of like digital media, it just doesn't leave room for you to question things too much.
I mean, the first thing is you always like want to check, at least make sure the information that you're getting is verified by at least more than one credible source. Associated Press and Reuters are two of my favorite that tend to just tell you the facts. But I would also say some other things are, one, trusting your gut. If some headline pulls more emotion than curiosity from you, it fuels more rage and frustration inside of you than provoking thoughts. That's not quite, to me, the point of straight factual news. So I would say be very aware of how you're emotionally responding to news. And I think the more that things heighten your emotions, the more wary you should be of if it's true or not.